Hey there, my name is Lexi, and thank you so much for tuning in to the LexChat today. This is a show dedicated to helping creatives to become better creatives. We help educate each other, we share resources, and we talk about this journey of going on music. So thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Lexi. If you're new here, hey. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. And we got another cool topic today. As you can see, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I got my hair done the other day. Shout out to Eb Beauty, Eb Slade on Instagram. She did my hair. We did a 2x6 sew-in closure thingy. I think that's what it's called. But the reason why I'm bringing her up, other than helping me to look good, is because she asked me like a really cool question while I was sitting in the chair. We were talking about when did you learn that you could sing? And it's pretty much been all of my life. But I shared with her that I started sharing my talent with people when I was in 7th grade. I guess because I just found a group of friends that actually made me comfortable, or a group of people that made me feel comfortable enough to open up in that way. Whereas before I was too shy or whatever. And then somehow I got to talking about how there's actually a lot involved with being a singer. And so I actually want to get into that topic today. It's having full body awareness and what it takes to be a singer, because I don't think a lot of people recognize that there's actually a lot of mindfulness that goes into being a singer, being a performing artist. So, and I'm writing down, because mindfulness is a good word for me to put in my YouTube description and maybe even in the YouTube title. So I had to write that down really quickly. But the two buzzwords for me in this particular episode is going to be awareness and mindfulness. So me and Ebony got into the conversation of, well, Lex, what does it take to be a singer? Like, what are some things you have to worry about? And basically, I'm going to kind of skip around a little bit, but you have to have full body awareness, and you have to practice mindfulness as an artist, a recording artist, but especially a performing artist who is on stage. And there are just so many things going on while we are performing, right? Anybody who's tuned in to Instagram Live while I'm doing this, y'all feel free to chime in and leave some comments, and I'll be able to read them here on LexChat. You'll have your comments featured on the show. So what does it take to be a singer? First and foremost, body awareness. As a singer, your entire body is your instrument. So anything you do to your body, you're doing to your voice, essentially. So our actual instrument is our voice. That's where the sound comes out. But the body of the instrument is literally our entire body. And I've done some reading on these things. I used to take vocal lessons, and I've read books on vocal singing and just different things. I've done research on being a vocalist and what things affect it. So if your body is an entire instrument, right? Like, the way you treat your body affects how your voice is going to perform. Let's just hop right into it, because I have a list of things. So exercise, right? As an artist, my vocal cords are a muscle. And so if I'm not working out my vocal cords, whether that's speaking every day, but especially singing every day, which is something that I have been slacking. I do got to call myself out on that. I have not been practicing my vocal exercises and vocal workouts the way that I should be doing, the way that I used to, which was at least 3 times a week, or maybe 10 minutes per day, Monday through Friday, right? Our vocal cords are muscles. And if you don't work out your muscles, if you don't challenge your muscles, then they are getting weaker. They are brittle. They are not getting hydrated properly. If I don't drink water, if I don't have the proper diet, because again, whatever I put into my body, whatever I do to my body, it's going to affect my singing voice. So to start with the vocal cords themselves, that's a muscle essentially. And when I say that we need to have body awareness as artists, that muscle, you have to learn, I don't want to say if your body was a tuba. If your body was a flute, or if your body was a saxophone, or even those little recorders that we all played in elementary school, right? When you blow air through the instrument, there are divots and holes, and you press down certain holes to manipulate the sound and to get certain pitches. You blow in a certain amount of air to get a certain intensity, a certain sound, a certain intensity of sound from the instrument. I want to say that learning how to manipulate the shape of your vocal cords, it's the same. It's like if you were imagining like a live illustration of like a tuba or a clarinet or a flute, then that's an illustration I would use to describe what it's like to understand the awareness of what are my vocal cords doing? What am I doing? How am I manipulating the shape, the length, the width? How am I manipulating the airflow going through my vocal cords to get me certain sounds? There is a different approach that I'm going to take when I'm singing in full voice versus if I'm singing in a falsetto. One of them is going to be, there's that versus like, what's that song by Maxwell? Those are two different ways that I'm having to manipulate my vocal cords, the shape of it, and then how I'm manipulating the airflow that's going through my body. Even the fact that I'm sitting down right now, if I'm sitting down versus if I'm standing up, that's going to give me a different performance as well, because you can't, here's another analogy or another visualization for you, right? So we have the visualization of if your vocal cords were a tuba or a clarinet or a flute. Imagine your throat is a straw, right? Or even a water hose. And this is an analogy for how air will travel through your throat. Think of water going through a straw, water going through a water hose. If you keep it straight, then that's a clear pathway, right? But if you bend it, then you are decreasing the likelihood of getting a good flow, right? Same thing with the airflow that's going through my body. Sitting down, I'm going to be able to get certain sound. Now, if you're a more experienced singer, it may not affect you as much, but I can tell you right now that I can hit crazier notes when I'm standing up and getting my full body involved versus when I'm sitting down, and I kind of have to be mindful that I may not be able to get as dramatic of a delivery sitting down as I would if I was standing up and if I could get my whole body involved, because I'm bending the instrument a little bit. Or even if I'm singing and I have my voice down, I'm bending my throat. I'm affecting the airflow that's going through my throat. So posture is what I'm getting at. I have to be very mindful of my posture. If I'm slouching, if I'm not up, if I'm not, aware, if I'm not having my head on a swivel, basically, then that affects the quality of the airflow coming through my body. And if the airflow of my body is affected, then the pitch is affected. Like how accurately I can hit a note is going to be affected. So you have to think about those things as well. So I'm talking about posture, right? And I talked about the exercise of the muscle of your vocal cords. On the same token, me actually exercising, going to the gym, doing my cardio, doing my weightlifting, doing my stretching, all of those things also affect my body. Especially if you want to be a performing artist, there's a certain level of athleticism that you have to be able to achieve, or you have to be able to maintain, right? But and I don't want this thought to float away. Please come back. So exercise, the most important thing with exercising as an artist is increasing your lung capacity and I guess like the quality of the air that enters your body and exits your body. When I think about the effect that exercise has on me, excuse me, let me get some water because I just cracked so bad. When I think about the effect that exercise has on my body, it is strengthening muscles, right? So I would treat my body and my vocal cords the same way. If I am not working out, then I am not improving my cardiovascular system, and that is going to help pump blood through my body, get oxygen moving through my body. And when I have a good circulatory system, then that's going to feed into how well and how accurately I push out notes and how well I regulate my breath control. Someone who's not working out, I'll say that a lot of people who like smoke marijuana or they do some kind of vaping, that they have a harder time pushing out notes and maintaining long phrases. So I'm trying to think of songs to give y'all examples. Something that has like a long, I'll just go back to my song, right? The little run that I was doing earlier, that was from my song, Real Love. If I didn't have good like fitness, good workout regimen and good work ethic in the gym, then I would not be able to push out and maintain that long of a run. So it's that, hey, oh, 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 real. And that is all in one breath, right? And I'm singing it like lighter than I do on the actual song. I push a lot more in the actual song, but you would be surprised to know that a lot of people that I've worked with, they actually would not be able to hold out a run like that. And it's linked, in my opinion, and I'm sure there's research out there to back it up. Y'all can go Google for yourselves. But in my opinion and in my experience, I sing better when I am working out consistently because my body, the muscles in my body play a role in pushing out the right pitch and the right tones. And even the like if you can hear all of the movement that's going on in that run, you know what I'm saying? Like I am changing the shape and length and width of my throat every time I do that. So it's just training my body and training my vocal cords. It's the same concept. Like the more you do it, the stronger it becomes. The more you put pressure on the body, the more you're challenging yourself and your body to be able to perform certain things. So fitness affects it. And then I went on to tell Ebony about like my state of mind can affect. So I can be in tip-top shape. I could have drank my water. I could have been doing my vocal exercises consistently throughout the week, throughout the month. But if I get on stage and I'm not in the right emotional state, I'm not in the right mind state, that can affect my performance and that can cause me not to hit notes properly. So if I'm nervous before I go up on stage, even though I'm like generally pretty fit and I have good breath control in a calm state of mind, if I'm too nervous and I go up on stage, that's affecting my performance because I'm not confidently pushing out notes. That nervousness is causing my heart to beat irregularly from what I've practiced. And when my heart is beating irregularly fast, then it's like expending energy faster than I want it to. And it's giving me a shortness of breath that I wouldn't have if I was in a calmer state of mind. So when people say things like, I don't want to like speak bad against anybody, but I've had people in my life be like, music is not really a job. Being a singer is not really like, it's maybe not a traditional job, but there's so much that goes into it, into the craft, into the art of singing on stage. I mean, it goes into singing in the studio as well, but when you add that live performance aspect to it, oh, hold on, there's like a thing on my microphone. When you add that live performance aspect to it, there's so many things that you have to be mindful of as a singer. So I put emotions and my mind state, if I'm feeling anxious, how that can affect my breath control, exercise and muscles in the throat. I can be in the right state of mind. I could exercise, I could eat properly, I could drink my water. But if I didn't get enough sleep the night before, then my vocal cords may not be rested enough to get up on stage and sing and push out some of the notes. So my mental state has to be right. I have to have slept well. I have to have eaten well. I have to be exercising. And even if you're not exercising your full body, the least you could do is exercise your vocal cords, right? And another thing that I want to talk about, what it takes to be a singer, is in the mindfulness portion, right? Feeling vibrations and being able to eventually recognize that, oh, the way that I hit this note, the way it felt when I hit this note felt right. So eventually you practice your music enough, you practice your songs enough, you start to get to a point where you can feel when you're hitting the wrong note because you've practiced enough and you've developed enough awareness, enough body awareness to recognize when, that wasn't quite right, or, I didn't hit that the way that I typically do when I'm on the top of my game or when I'm in my zone, right? So there's just so many things that affect us as singers that I don't think people, it looks fun on TV, right? It looks like we're having a good time, and we are, but there are so many things that go into being a performing artist. And something else that just popped into my head is there's a lot going on stage. Aside from like we haven't even added on dancing, right? So if you add dancing into this whole equation, that's a whole nother layer that I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of, because you got to be in tip-top shape for that. And when you are moving and dancing, that's another kind of discipline, another kind of conditioning that needs to happen to be able to dance and move and run and jump and maintain an even breath control. I think about people like Saweetie, who some people made fun of. She's gotten way better over the years. Obviously, she's done boot camps and you can see her progress as a performing artist. But there were a few performances where you could tell that she was just like out of breath. And even though it didn't look like she was doing a lot on stage, again, you got to think about, what if something happened before she got on stage? What if she got into an argument with somebody? She's angry, she's pissed off. That's taken away from the energy of the performance. You know, the stages are huge. You got to remember a bunch of cues. If I was thinking about Destiny's Child the other day, like how difficult it is for some people to be able to hear themselves. And a matter of fact, I'm glad I said that, because the whole reason why I got into this whole tangent with her about how it's very involved being a singer is because she said something like, how did you know you could sing? And I said, I just would mimic people. Destiny's Child was one of the groups that I would mimic, and I would try to figure out how to sound like them. But I would record myself and listen back, and I'd be able to hear that I am hitting things properly. And she said, well, I can't hear myself when I'm talking. And that led me to the tangent of, well, you know, being a singer, it's all about listening. And once you hear something, being able to replicate it, being able to repeat it back, essentially. And so just being a good listener matters too as a singer. You have to be able to have a thought in your mind and then be able to bring it out into the world through the spoken word, right? And then to know or to not know, to know that you did or you did not hit something properly, it requires you to be able to hear yourself as you're speaking. There's the awareness of, what am I saying? How am I saying it? And am I actively listening to myself as I say things and not just talk? You know what I mean? So it's just so much that goes into singing, you know? It takes a lot to be a singer. And it amazes, like, I just really want people, if you don't have experience being a singer or being in this kind of life, being around music, I want people who are not involved in the industry to really understand like how much it actually takes to be a part of this. So to get back to the whole topic of, you know, if what may or may not have happened Saweetie performing at those few shows that she did. But like, you don't know if that person got into an argument before. You don't know if they lost somebody and they're in a sad mental state. There are cues that you have to pay attention to when you're on stage. Are you making it here on time? Are you doing this movement here at this time, at this moment? If you're in a group like Destiny's Child, if you can't hear the other people in the band, if you can't hear yourself, you can't hear other people. If you can't hear other people, you can't achieve harmonies. And it's just so much that goes into being a performing artist. Like, the main takeaway that I want y'all to understand from this is that your body is an instrument. Your entire body is an instrument. So what you feed your body physically, emotionally, spiritually, it's all going to play a role in how well you do as a singer in the studio, but especially if you are a performing artist. You got to get your mindset in the right place. You have to have been conscientiously taking care of yourself. And it's not something that you can just do really quickly to prep for like 20-30 minutes and then you're good. I've made this mistake before as well, where I will get lazy with my routine and I don't maintain my discipline, and I'm not rehearsing, I'm not working out, I'm not drinking my water, I'm not doing my vocal exercises, and then a performance will come up and I get on stage and I'm knowing that I did not practice the way I was supposed to. And because I haven't practiced the way I'm supposed to, my voice is dry. And the way I'm going to deliver when I get up here is going to be dry. My throat is not going to be as hydrated as it and lubricated as it should be, because I'm trying to demand something from it that I did not prepare it to do. So I sing really big notes in my songs, really big. Like even the run that I did for y'all earlier is from my song Real Love. That's a huge thing that I need to deliver. And it's not something that can just be awoken. It's something that has to be maintained. So when I'm talking about eating properly, when I'm talking about drinking water, when I'm talking about working out, the body and the vocal cords, that's a discipline that has to be maintained every single day, even if it's just a little bit every day. The hardest part for people is incorporating it into a daily routine, but you'll get the best results if you make sure you sing for 10 minutes a day. If you make sure you go for a walk for 10 to 20 minutes a day, if you just make sure you drink 1 or 2 full water bottles of water to get your hydration. If you're a singer, if you can just get those little things into your routine, then it will benefit you like so much. It'll benefit you so much. And you just have to be mindful of what your body is doing, how your body is feeling. It really is all about, music really is a spiritual thing, and physical and mental and emotional. Like it's all of those things wrapped up into one art form. And it's so much to be mindful of and to take mental notes of and to compare those mental notes and keep track of those mental notes. What am I doing? What have I been doing? Have I been doing well? Do I need to change something? Am I keeping my discipline? Am I able to maintain this routine? Am I able to rehearse? Am I able to treat myself well to be ready for when those opportunities come? All the more power to you if you get like at least a 2-week notice before doing a show. These days I'm getting like a week or less. And so I'm just trying to make sure that I stay ready, and then with my hair and my makeup, like if I don't feel confident, that's also going to translate. It can translate into my performance. So on top of the fitness and the diet and the exercise and my state of mind and my emotions, am I visually looking the way I want to look to help enforce confidence, to help enforce that I'm an artist. I look good, therefore I will feel good and I will sing good. It's all connected. And that's that's all I got for this episode today. I just want y'all to think about, if you are an artist or if you're not an artist, I just want you to think about how involved it is being an artist and what it means to stay ready, what it means to have awareness and mindfulness, and how that's going to impact you creatively, how that's going to impact you performance-wise. So I hope that you have enjoyed this episode, and I hope that the wheels are turning in your mind about, if there are some habits that you have, if there are some things that you could improve on, if there's discipline that you could learn to have for yourself, then I hope that this serves as a reminder, and I hope it wakes you up a little bit to the things that maybe need to be tightened up on, the things that you could stand to pay more attention to be a better artist, a better performer in the studio, and especially when you're going out on stage. So yeah, that's all I got for this. Before I get out of here, I want to give a shout out to Willie Styles. He's got a new clothing brand coming out, and I'm wearing a shirt right now. The Peaches and the Peach Peelers. This is a peach peeler shirt. It's supposed to be for the men, because, the ladies are the peaches and the men are the peach peelers. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Willie Styles for this shirt. It's really dope. Thank you so much. I really enjoy the art. I think it's really creative. What else I want to tell y'all? By the time this video comes out, the next coffee date is going to be the following Sunday. So like the upcoming Sunday. So make sure y'all tune in virtually on Instagram at LexCATL. That's at LEXCATL for the first Sunday of the month for the virtual coffee date at 6 o'clock. We're doing that. All right. And what else? I want to give a shout out to my patrons, Mr. Flat Shoals, Eldon, and Alton. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I appreciate y'all. Yeah. I think that's all I got. I don't want to ramble for too long. I think those are the only... Oh, I want to tell y'all about Magic Mind. Go to magicmind.com/Lexi20 to get 20% off of your order. Either your one-time purchase or your subscription, you get 20% off. magicmind.com/Lexi20, because we working together and it works for me. It's a really great, it's a great product. So y'all go try that. But yeah. It will help you be mindful. It will help you to gain mental clarity as well. But that's all I got on this topic. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, or if you're listening on a podcasting platform, you can leave a review of this episode and tell me what you think. Tell me if you agree. Do you feel like you have awareness? Do you feel like you are mindful of the things you do and how it affects your body as an artist? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the reviews. Again, my name is Lexi. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell to be notified each and every time I post a new piece of content. And make sure you stay locked in with the Lex Chats, because this is really good information and I would love for us to help each other grow. So that's all I got for y'all today in this episode. Until next time, my name is Lexi. Peace. Rockin' J's, you will hear Max 97s. I'm not